stock up, stock down. So Larry, who do you have as your stock up?
For stock up, I have Peyton Pritchard. I mean, I think we both had him as a question mark coming into the season. We said he has to step up, and we said the only way he would do that if he gets playing time. He's been getting playing time. He's the lead right now for the sixth man of the year. He's been Parley P for a lot of people. He's doing his thing, and he's more than just a half court shot maker. He's really carrying the bench at this point. For number 2, I have White. I have, I really think I saw something when he missed a game and how bad we were, and we really needed him. And then when he came back, we went back to our winning ways. So I really think that White is a huge factor. He's not doing that well tonight, as he was like 0 for 10, but he's playing really well, and he was huge. And then Milwaukee. I put stock up for Milwaukee. We all know they started really bad, and we were trying to figure out what was going on with them. I was kind of worried about Doc for a little bit, and then they stepped back and started playing like Milwaukee should play. They may not be in the number 1, number 2 this year, but they will definitely be in the top 4 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee, they haven't had all their good players healthy at once, right? I think something like 7 games, 9 games where they all 3 haven't been together at the same time. Eventually they're gonna fix that. Eventually they're gonna be healthy, and they could be easily like a top 3. Right now they're in 5th place, but I see them winning a lot of games once they figure it out. And also, I don't know, it's Giannis, do you think that he's still going full speed, or he's like not really going full speed? Because I know he did it. He said in an interview that he wants to win the MVP again. He's like 30 years old. So
yeah, he's not playing like that. His play right now reminds me of Tatum's play last year, where he's kind of taking a step back, but it's actually helping the team. And that's what I've been seeing from him. So I think both of them have kind of matured and realized that you got to get the team involved. You got to get them motivated. And if you do that, then everything will come easy for you.
Yeah, I think, with Giannis is that he still sees himself as an individual. But I want him to kind of say hey, I need all 4 guys to be with me. I don't, sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. When Drew Holiday was on that team, I mean, they were damn near unstoppable. I don't know what happened, but I don't want to give too much credit to the Milwaukee Bucks, because I don't know what's the score right now.
The Milwaukee's up by 2, 97-95. So it's a close game with 6 minutes left in the 4th.
I don't want to.
Like I said, they're going toe to toe with us right now. Yeah, we're not. White's having a bad game right now. I think us, but Brown and Tatum are doing their thing, but also Giannis and Damian Lillard are doing their thing. So it kind of balances out.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that game as it gets going. When we talk about stock up, I want to say Keda is my number 1 stock up, because to be honest, he's filled Porzingis' shoes as far as defense is concerned. The dude is rebounding. The dude is blocking shots. He's shooting 64%. That's because most of his shots are like dunks, basically. But I really like his game. He has so much potential for improvement. I really like how he's coming along. Larry, do you see him as trade bait, or do you see him as actually being a cornerstone for the Celtics team?
I really hope we hold on to him. I like how we have these 4 big men in rotation kind of helping out, and maybe they rest and play. I think we need something like that in order to make it all the way through to the cup. the chip. I mean, so I think that's pretty good. But hopefully they're not trying to, set him up and let him go. I know we're missing a player. I'm not quite sure what that play would be at this point, but I don't want us to give up a big piece for something that we think we need.
Yeah, that's definitely true, unless his name is Tillman. The other thing that I want to talk about is, you already mentioned Pritchard. If he doesn't get the 6th man award, barring any injuries in the future, but this dude is automatic 15, 20 points off the bench. Like you mentioned before, he's getting the minutes. When White was hurt for a couple games or 2 games, I don't know, 1 game, he stepped in, started, got points. I mean, this dude is doing it all. Inside, outside. Yes, he sometimes could be a defensive liability out there, but if he's scoring 20 points a game, why even take him out? So I have fully agree with you. Pritchard definitely deserves a stock up. And then my other stock up is Cleveland Cavaliers. I knew that Mitchell was good, but I didn't think that Garland was going to be good. Mobley was going to be. I mean, they're good individual players, but I didn't know that they were going to put together a team. And even Merrill, who has jumped around from NBA team, all of a sudden he found a home, and he's like good. He's a good three-point maker. So my hat off to Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they're playing, and again, this is a weak Eastern Conference, so I don't want to take my heart too much, but at least they're doing it. Larry, who is in your stock down?
I think we brought it up a little bit earlier. I was disappointed with Tillman, so I have him as my number 1 stock down. I was hoping he would kind of fill the role of, the last big man that we had that was kind of in his position, and he didn't measure up, he lost his minutes because of that. So we don't see him as much unless it's garbage time now. Number 2, I have Denver. I saw Denver's game the other day. I was very disappointed with how they were playing. And like you said, if Joker's not really on, it makes it really tough for Denver to kind of get around. And they don't take enough threes, so they need some 3-point threats on their team. You can't have your only 3-point threat being Westbrook. That's not going to work. And then the Lakers. The Lakers came out real strong. It was like father-son type deal, and all of a sudden now they're back to the same Lakers that we all know. And I'm just like, so I'm just very disappointed with them. And I thought they would at least, stay in that middle of the row if anything, but they feel like they're falling down.
So do you think that with the Lakers, they need a big trade, or they just need to blow this team up? Like, what, or do you think that they're, because I feel like ever since LeBron's been there, they've always have like a play-in. They're always in the play-in. They're always like 2 or 3 games from playing, not even being in the play-in. So what do you think they need?
Yeah, they're like the East Coast version of the Miami Heat. I really think, the Lakers are just, I don't know what the deal is. If, because I know there's a lot of championship teams that won't play until it gets late, but they can't afford to do that. I mean, right now they're losing to the Hawks, like I predicted, and they just have to figure something out. And I definitely think they need to change their lineup, but nobody's going to give anybody to the Lakers. It's kind of like the Yankees. No one wants to help them, so you're going to have to buy it.
Yeah, they're going to have to buy their way out. So for my stock down, we already talked about Tillman, but I'm going to drive the point a little bit further, Larry, with giving you his stats right now. He's a 25.9% field goal percentage right now. For a big man, that is super duper low. there was a couple of games where he started for Horford, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to shoot threes? I feel like his game, he was trying to have the same game as Horford, but it wasn't working. Right now, he's 0.4 for assists, 2.1 for rebounds, 1.2 for points. I mean, could he get just cut? Could he get cut, or do you think that the team needs him?
I think we need to find a player similar before we get rid of him, because I felt like that's what we needed. We were missing. We do need someone to shoot threes. I know it's crazy saying that with all the 3-point shots we have, but we definitely need that, because if not, the ball is always going to go to that one person, and they're going to leave them wide open. So we need everyone to be a threat that's on the floor in order for this flow to work, and he doesn't have that. So he's a liability when he's on the floor. I seen him play a little bit of defense when he came in a couple of times, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's a shot, but he's just not flowing with our style. And I feel like we need to get away from him and find somebody who's lean and long, like we've been kind of accustomed to.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. Let's quickly go through the team's reserves right now, because we talking about Luke Cornett, we talking about Sam Hauser, we talking about Walsh, we talking about Springer, we talking about that dude Drew Peterman, who they just signed to a contract. Like, if it just seems like Tillman doesn't fit in that reserve role, right? It just seems like he's an odd man out. Like when I feel like Joe Mazzulla kind of knows this, but he's like trying to like get him going. But I don't know. It's like we just started December and he still hasn't gotten going. So I'm thinking, like, is he just a candidate to like just be dropped? Because at this point, I don't think a team is gonna take him unless he's attached to some draft picks. I mean, what's your estimation?
And, Peterson just came in. I feel like he's more of an impact than Tillman, and that's not the way it should be. But that's the player that works in our system, and Tillman just doesn't fit it. So, I just think that we need to, look elsewhere at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I think we just, and I don't think he has any kind of extension or anything like that. I think it was a pickup from Memphis, and that's it. My other suck down, Larry, is the Celtics interior defense. Now I know that Porzingis just came back, but overall, other than Keita, why are people not afraid to go inside? Because we have two very good wingers, and we probably have the best blocking shooting guard in the league. So what's going on? Why are people like, I feel like Atlanta did this and that's how they were able to beat us. I feel like Golden State did it and that's why they were always beat us. And to be honest, we were struggling towards the end. They actually won the game, but we were struggling against other teams when it came to inside. Like, I know we ended up beating the Pistons, but that game was closer than you want it to be. So what do you think is happening with the interior defense?
Again, there's been a lot of injuries with that four that we've had, and I think we just need to come up with a system. I thought we were just going to play 2 at a time, and I think that's the best bet because you want them to have more minutes. And I think if we can figure out which two work well with each other, just play those two together, and hopefully our interior defense will step up. But it's been pretty dreadful, and I wanted to blame a lot of it on KP because he wasn't there, and nobody really wanted to step up. But I think now that he's back, and we want to wait till he's 100%, and I think we can hopefully can show that our defense is back on track in the inside.
Yeah, because I like it when the Celtics play defense and then that defense turns into offense. I just don't like the other way around where we're playing like the toilet bowl offense and nobody's like jumping the lanes or anything. I don't like that at all. That's when I get upset when I'm watching a game. Lastly, Larry, my stock down, the Philadelphia 76ers. When you talk about a shit show, that is a shit show. They're right now, I think when I'm looking at the standings, they're all the way, they're 5-15. This is terrible. They got a better record than the Washington Wizards by 3 games. Larry, I don't know where to start with it's Embiid not showing up in shape or Embiid still not 100%. Paul George not 100%. Maxey trying to be the team leader, but he's not. I mean, I don't know. What do you make of this, or do you think that is it Nick Nurse to blame for this? Is it the front office? Like, why do you think they're so terrible?
I know they got hit with the injury bug. I mean, that happened in preseason. Embiid is just not right. I think he, maybe the Olympics wore him out. I don't really know. They've just been very dreadful. Milwaukee had a bad start just like Philly did, but Milwaukee has bounced back. Philly's taken too long. They're going to mess around and get left out of the playoffs at this rate. They did win tonight. I think they beat Orlando. I think Paul George had 21 points. So, that saved them a little, but they have a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of teams that are going to just eat them up. So they got to get back to the Maxey, Embiid, and George. It's just what we thought they were going to be this year. It hasn't happened. And, I will, before I call out their coach, I will say that they definitely need to be full strength. If they still can't win games at full strength, then we can go look at the coach and look at the decisions from the management.
Because this is Nick Nurse's first year or second year?
I want to say this is his first year with them.
I want to say this is the first year. So I don't know. I don't want to place blame on the coach because, like I said, they got hit with the injury bug. So still, it's only 5 weeks, 6 weeks into the season, but you don't want to go into a deep hole. And well, let's be honest. The Eastern Conference is the kind of conference where you can't start terrible and actually still, if you make it to 500, you can still have a chance to make it to the playoffs. That's how Miami has done it for years. But I just want to say that Philadelphia is literally falling apart. Do you think Embiid just needs to sit down, take 3-4 weeks off, get 100% and then come back? Or is this whole I'm going to give it a shot from game to game? It's just not going to work.
At this point, I would rest Embiid as long as you can, because if he's not 100%, you're still going to lose games. I would try to lean on Paul George as much as you can and try to see if you can win a few games until Embiid is ready. And if it gets to a point and you can't get there, then that's all she wrote. But as we're doing this podcast, my stock up has went down. I had Pritchard. Pritchard did not score at all this game. White was 0 for 10, and Milwaukee looks like they're going to lose to the Celtics. So, my stock up has went down, but I think all those teams will bounce back.
Yeah, I know this was a tough game for Milwaukee. So what is it? Do they have a final score yet?
They're still seconds left, but they're down 107, 102.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
But, Middleton's first game, we got to get his legs underneath him, and nobody wants to play the champs coming back from that. So,
Yeah, I mean, and it is, listen, remember 2008, the one thing that I always kind of, I didn't like about Doc Rivers is that there was always like the toilet bowl offense where people just sat back, play one-on-one and see what happened. I don't know if that's happening with the Milwaukee Bucks. I haven't watched enough for their games, but other than Damian Lillard, I want a second option. And I don't know if Giannis, you consider him a second option, because he really just have one move and it's like, get out of my way. I'm going down the lane. So you listen to the here there. That's for another podcast. So Larry,